definitely when I create a piece, it's very important that there is something that we are saying, not necessarily just that I am saying. But in the beginning when I started, and that was interesting, I used to say, oh, let's not do that because it's too obvious. Don't do it, it's too obvious. I don't want them to really know what I'm saying. And I've sort of got over that because it's anyway very difficult to understand people. There's always so many misunderstandings because people don't really say what they want to say. So I'm kind of getting much better at being clear about what I want to say and saying it without any hidden sort of things around it. But for example, there are different kinds of pieces. Let's say if I do a piece like Romeo and Juliet or Swan Lake, there's a story already there. Maybe I change the story a little bit, but it's clear where we're going to take it. You know, obviously she's going to die at the end. How she dies, you know, and all that kind of stuff. And if there's a life after death, these are all things to be asked. But it's clear in a way, the story. Or something like a piece called that we did called Splash. You know, I'll be very honest with you. 1 year before the premiere, in the theatre structure, they like to know titles, and I hate giving a title 1 year before because. So I said, okay, when is the premiere? And somebody said, oh, end of April, May. And I thought, okay, that's getting hot. In the Feuerwache, it gets very hot. So maybe something to do with water. Something to do with water, that would be nice. I mean, you might think this is a very superficial way to approach one's work. But again, it's another way. And I don't mind, actually. So I said, let's call the piece Splash. And it'll be something to do with water. And it was. And the nice thing was, it was lots of different approaches just to the word splash and to water. So there, when I started the piece, I wasn't sure what I was going to say at the end, but I knew that I wanted to work with this theme. And I think we pretty much touched every subject. I mean, also about the lack of water in our world and the waste of water and how many hundreds and millions of liters gets flushed down the toilet of just fresh water and stuff like that. So, you know, there are many different approaches, but yes, I like the audience to know what I'm trying to say. One of the other aspects which I truly love to do, I mean, I think when you're a creator, you're not just a creator on your own. Well, especially as a choreographer, you need your team, you need your dancers. They inspire me a lot. And I feel that it's really important to bring in inspiration from different levels. And I'm a great art lover. I love to every time I'm in a city, I will always go to the National Gallery of Modern Art or something. And so I really do appreciate and love the work of other artists, especially video artists or painters, because they have a fresh look on sometimes the same thing that we're dealing with, but they bring in another aspect. So, and I love to challenge ourselves, the invited artist, and myself and our dancers, to try and really bring these two elements together. For me, it's not interesting just to have a beautiful video at the back, but like, how can we really integrate and bring these two forms together to create something new, and then see, oh, where can it now take us to? So I think I've collaborated with a lot of people in Saarbrücken in the last 10 years. Yes, and it's been a pleasure. And there's a lot of great people here. Unfortunately, they keep going away to Berlin and leaving here, but they do come back, and that's nice. So video artists, composers, even magicians or puppet players, or, I mean, yes, it's important for me. I like it. I don't have to have it all the time, but it certainly brings me in another place, and that's really good. Well, the great fascination for me about working with video or other mediums, and is what they can do that dance maybe cannot do, or what we allow the audience to see that they cannot see from their point of view in the audience room, for example. So, you know, video allows us to get very close into the body, to see the details that an audience member will never ever see. They'll never get that close, you know, for example. Not as close as I would, or, you know, the dancers themselves, like really in it. Or for example, the most recent performance, a premiere we just did, it's called Silent Movie, and we worked a lot with video. But you see, I didn't want the audience to first realize that there's any video at all. And so what we did was we've played with the facade of the house has a video over it. So you think the surface is anyway made of wood, but this is created with video. And then all these effects start happening. So we use a lot of animations. So for example, the wood, suddenly there's like, the wood turns into millions of little roses, you know, and then they fall down. So you kind of do magical things. I like that as well. I like magic. I like the magic part of life. Like, how did that happen? Yeah, so to answer your question, for me, it's using video and these mediums to give us what we cannot dance, what we cannot give on our own. And maybe the same for video. What can video get from us? Although I'm not sure what that is. You'll have to ask Claudia. Yeah.